Let's jump right into this explainer, because today we are exploring what, at least at first glance, looks like an absolutely revolutionary cosmetic breakthrough. I mean, we're diving into a publication that promises to completely redefine hair science from the ground up. But, I gotta warn you right off the bat. What starts out as a highly technical breakdown of a quote-unquote miracle molecule is going to take a really, really unexpected plunge into its true cosmic nature. Seriously, you'll want to stay locked in for this one. Okay, so let's get right into this pitch from Bibebibebibe Magazine. They are presenting this compound called the SH-1 molecule, and they're positioning it as a proprietary, non-steroidal game changer for hair loss. Specifically, we're talking about androgenetic alopecia here. The whole thing is framed exactly like the kind of super polished executive summary you'd expect to see crossing the desk of some major venture capital firm in the biotech space. Now, if you or anyone you know has ever worried about losing their hair, you already know your main enemy is follicular miniaturization. To really grasp the sheer magnitude of what SH1 is claiming to do, we have to understand this baseline problem. It's basically this relentless biological process where your hair follicles just progressively shrink over time until they essentially stop producing visible hair altogether. It's the absolute core driver behind male and female pattern baldness. But here's the wild part. The source claims the SH1 molecule doesn't just halt that shrinking process. No, it goes a massive step further. It claims to actively reverse follicular miniaturization, all while simultaneously maintaining your body's systemic endocrine balance. Now, if you follow current hair loss therapeutics, you know that a claim boldly promising active reversal without messing with your hormones, that is literally the holy grail of cosmetic science. But, to build a convincing case for a miracle, you first have to dismantle the competition, right? So the publication spends quite a bit of time thoroughly tearing down what it calls the legacy treatment problem. It basically points out that absolutely everything currently sitting on store shelves is fundamentally flawed in one way or another. According to them, these legacy treatments suffer from three massive roadblocks. First up, systemic endocrine disruption. Basically, they mess with your entire body's chemistry, which nobody wants. Second, inadequate dermal retention for topicals, meaning those foams or creams just do not stay where they actually need to be. And third, a complete absence of real follicular remediation. Bottom line, current retail therapeutics just aren't fixing the actual root of the problem. So, the crucial question is, how does the SH1 molecule bypass all of these incredibly frustrating biological limitations? How exactly does it fix the follicle without causing systemic chaos in the body? Well, the publication outlines a highly specific, custom-engineered mechanism designed to achieve what older drugs simply could not pull off. The proposed solution is something called a lipid vector delivery system. Rather than just blindly flooding your bloodstream with chemicals, this highly targeted method ensures the active molecules penetrate directly down to the dermal papilla, which is the vital root of the hair. And it does this without any systemic contamination. It essentially keeps the entire treatment strictly localized right there on your scalp. But the engineering definitely doesn't stop at just the delivery method. According to the text, SH1 is engineered around this highly advanced rigid tetracyclic scaffold. Through this incredibly specific structure, SH1 reportedly achieves what the author calls nanomolar competitive dominance over DHT. And DHT, if you remember, is the primary hormone actually responsible for all that hair follicle shrinkage. To put that dominance into perspective, this structural design translates into a massive, greater than 500-fold selectivity for androgen receptor domains. Let that sink in for a second. That number is staggering. It means the molecule is hyper-focused. It binds to the exact receptors causing the problem over 500 times more effectively than it binds to anything else in your system. So when you stack SH1 directly against industry heavyweights like Finasteride and Minoxidil, it completely dominates the board. Think about it. While finasteride is known to disrupt your body's homeostasis, and minoxidil really only offers marginal repair at best, SH1 operates via this incredibly targeted AR antagonism. It actively preserves your endocrine homeostasis, and it's positioned as the only option offering truly active follicular repair. I mean, it is an absolute masterpiece of a medical pitch. Naturally, after seeing data quite like this, you'd probably want to contact the CEO, right? Dr. Melvin Sewell, maybe to learn more, or hey, maybe even invest. The document even provides an email address specifically for clearing technical dossiers. But wait a minute. This is exactly where our explainer takes a hard, radical left turn, away from clinical science. If you actually look closely at the contact block, Dr. Sewell isn't listed as your typical biotech CEO. Not at all. His credentials strangely list him as an academic dean and, much more confusingly, a diagnostic architect. Let me tell you, that is absolutely not a title you are going to find in modern pharmacology. And the institution he allegedly founded to certify all of this groundbreaking science, it is inexplicably named the Cosmic University of Echo Rift Studies X. Yeah, we have officially left the realm of standard medical journals and completely crossed over into something entirely different. By taking a step back and exploring the site's navigation and category tags, we suddenly realize this isn't a sterile lab report at all. It's actually an introduction to an incredibly esoteric universe. The whole page is neatly categorized under speculative science and lore and cosmetic morphology, sitting right alongside links for true flow games and sovereign diagnostics. Then there's this jarring sovereign diagnostic disclaimer just tucked away at the very bottom of the source. And it reveals the brilliant truth of this whole thing. This entire medical pitch we've been analyzing, it's actually an intricate piece of sci-fi world building. It's authored as mythic infrastructure and a cinematic indictment. All of that incredibly convincing scientific jargon we just studied was pure, unadulterated narrative lore the whole time. The creator actually goes completely out of their way to stress that all these complex medical terminologies, the competitive matrices, the glyphs, they are diagnostic lore meant to expose systemic decay. They explicitly state, for the record, that these are not actual pharmaceutical cures. They aren't political statements or real-world institutional critiques either. It's just this completely self-contained art piece and story. And when you look at the copyright timeline presented, we can see this elaborate, surreal narrative has been quietly constructing itself for a while now. It builds from these foundational copyrights back in 2024, establishes the Echo Rift archive in 2025, culminating in this incredibly detailed 2026 publication of the SH-1 molecule. It's a massive, multi-year creative endeavor. And fittingly, the document doesn't conclude with Phase 3 clinical trial data or FDA approval timelines. Instead, it takes a direct pivot straight into literature. It immediately drops us right into Chapter 1, Origin, signaling that this entire deep dive into hair science we just did was really just the doorway into a much, much larger narrative journey. The text ends with the introduction of a character emerging from a rift, someone marked by SH-1 resonance, which ultimately leaves us with this incredible cryptic question. If the ultimate cure for hair loss is actually just the catalyst for a massive speculative fiction saga, what is the true nature of this universe, and exactly how deep does the Echo Rift go?